Hello and welcome to Tony's Board Life. Today I have something really cool. I have a prototype of a game that is looking to be possibly released in sometime in the future. And I was excited to get a call and asked me if I would do this. And I said, sure, this sounds great, really cool, something different, something I have not put on my channel, something a topic actually I have not gamed much on. And there are probably thousands of game on this topic. And no, it is not on the Bulge or Normandy. I've got plenty of those. But in this case, Lock and Load Publishing asked me to look at this, take a look at it, open it up, play with it, take a look at it. But this is a prototype. So this is a game that they're looking at eventually putting out. But let's take a look at it. So what we have is Close Quarters Combat Waterloo. Again, by Lock and Load Publishing. So thank you to David and the developer Devin for giving me the opportunity to do this. So let's take a look. What do we have here? So within weeks of the escape of Elba in early 1850, Napoleon was declared an outlaw by Great Britain, Prussia, Russia, and Austria, with each nation vowing to put 150,000 men in the field and march to Paris. Not wanting the British and the Prussians armies to unite, Napoleon launched against the offensive towards Brussels to drive a wedge between the two, and destroying each in turn. Standing in his way at Waterloo was Wellington and his Anglo-Allied army. Close Quarter Battles is a tactical game system that allows you players to recreate specific actions from the most famous battles in the horse and musket era. The series begins with the Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815, focusing on the assaults of the fortified farms of Le Haye and Hougoumont. It hopes to demonstrate how ferocious the fighting was around these iconic locations that still bear the scars of that famous day. The capture of these two farms became the obsession for the French, so much so that thousands of Napoleonic men would become casualties trying to wrest control of them from the smaller Anglo-Allied garrisons. The fighting was intense, often involving hand-to-hand combat, and ranged for hours through the woods, orchards, and finally into the farms. Both of the attackers and the defenders demonstrated incredible bravery, and their efforts helped in no small way to determine the outcome of the battle. Indeed, Wellington later declared that the success of the battle turned upon the closing of the gates of Hougoumont. The system is designed around a set of core rules, which you'll be able to play any game in the series, and a companion document called the Module Rules and Scenarios. This includes rule specifics of the individual game, in this case, Waterloo, and several battle scenarios which may have their own sets of special rules. Okay, so this is again a tactical system, but it looks like it's meant for a little bit a different time period than what they've done. Complexity, 6 out of 10. Solitaire suitability is 7 out of 10. You get 2 large 24 by 23 maps, 4 counter sheets of 400 plus counters, 1 color companion book, 5 double-sided player aid cards, 8.5 by 11, 4 single-sided player cards, 8.5 by 11, 101 poker-sized cards, 2d10s. Executive producer David Heath. Associate producers, we have Devin Hinley and Blackwell Hurd. Game design and art manual, Andrew Glenn. Production coordinator, Blackwell Hurd. Scenario design, Andrew Glenn. And manual author, Andrew Glenn. So let's take a look. Let's get this opened. I do like so we can get a little bit close. I do like the artwork on the cover. That is really, really cool and definitely well worth it. So let's go ahead. Let's get the shrink ripped off this and see what's inside. Now, I didn't know much about this, and talking with David at Lock and Load, they're going to try to get the other games that they have on GameFound out, taken care of first before they start doing one. But it'll be neat to take a look at this and see. So, as we take a look here, we're going to open this up. And it's typical Fox, but this is again a prototype, so let's make sure. So we have bookmarks, admit, believe, confess. So, okay. So, and as things are going now, they're going to the spiral bound rules, which are really cool. I do enjoy that, just by the way we've got it. So this is the companion book version 1.0. This is the core. So let's take a look at the core rules first. So we have our core rules here. Okay, good. The light's gooding on that. So we have our glass. So it looks to be 70 pages, but knowing Lock and Load, a lot of their text is larger. They usually do a lot of pictures. We have our glossary right here for the first 2 pages, introduction. We have our scale, how to use this manual, important notes, the components, the dice, counters. Love the counters on this. So we have range combat modifier, mounted icon, morale modifier. So we have of course, the anatomy of a counter right here, which is really cool. So we have the infantry. So we have a leader dismounted. We have infantry, skirmisher, and marksman. We have our cavalry. We have our artillery, which is pretty cool. More artillery and another artillery. So we have our markers. So we have our light infantry casualty. We have our melee morale. So you can kind of see that, which is really nice. We have our player aids, which we'll get to. It's pretty cool. So activation cards. So I have a feeling this is going to be very similar to several of the designs that we already have with World at War 85 and Nations at War. In some of the cases, I don't want to assume anything, but that's what the activation cards kind of look like. So you have, the formation, unit type, and nationality. So you probably do activation cards, and then there are event cards. We have our setting up for play. We have our sequence play, which is start turn, action phase, end turn. Pretty simple when you get to it. Pretty good. Again, I figured there'd be some good pictures. Color, full color, which is really neat. Independent units, skirmishers, columns, stationary stacking. Morale checks as usual. In most cases, morale is actually pretty important. With that, we have our terrain. Let's kind of move through these a little. Unit actions. So we have so we can move, melee, range, or die roll dependent actions. So we've got our move, melee. Oh, well, that's nice because it shows you what number you're going to use on the counter, which is really cool. Appreciate that. Range combat, again, it's got the pointing figures to point out where it's at, which is really cool. And move and shoot actions, ammunition. We're getting through this actually, so it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. Line of sight. Well, that's interesting. They've really got a cool one where they can see where you can't see and things like that. Well, that's pretty cool for line of sight. And again, this is the series rules, so this is pretty cool. And then we have our index, which is a couple pages here. And Blood and Fury's coming out. First Victory's coming out. And so there we have. So this is the core rules with it. Again, the artwork. I like the artwork on it quite a bit. So Now we have the companion version. So this one should basically terrain, specific to this particular module, which looks like there's roughly, in some cases, 18, 19 pages of rules. And then we have 9 scenarios. We do have 2 training scenarios. Oh, a training scenario and then a turn by turn in this booklet as well. So looks like we got some history here too. So the introduction, which is kind of like the historical battle background. And so that's a lot of this book is the historical background. So now we get into the module rules on page 10. So we have France, the British, Anglo-Allied. So we have German basically and Dutch. So different things on the maps and the formal gardens. I can't wait to look at these maps. I think these maps are going to be pretty awesome with this. So I'm looking forward to that. And then skirmishers, and then here we go. So we have our scenarios, which use the Hugoma map. So everything goes here. Which event cards? No event cards will be used in the scenario. Then we have the French order of battle, the Anglo-Allied order of battle, which is pretty cool. And then 2, 3, 4. Well, 4's got a lot. 4 is okay. So 3. That's 3. This is 4. This is a great archer. The last hurrahs, and I'm betting this next one will be Hugomon will be the entire. No, 6 is the vanquish or die. So I like the setup. I like having the larger counters for the setups. It's not just a list of numbers. It shows you the actual units. So this is really cool. So we'll go through here. So we've got here. So this is the training scenario, the sand pit. All the units I've used, which is only a few, which is really cool. So probably do that. Now we have our turn-by-turn playthrough of the sand pit. So what's going to happen? How things are going to get activated? Really good examples, which is really cool. So then we have the credits, and so then we have our action summaries, ranges, close artillery, a marksman. Yeah, so pretty cool. And then you have your summary of key rules, which will be interesting. I'll go through that. That'll look pretty good. So interested in that. Okay, so those are the rules. Again, they're spiral bound, which is really nice with that. So I'm going to move these to the side here. And so we have, let's take a look here. So we've got our maps. By the way, these are on they're not paper, they're like cardstock. Oh, I like the size of this map. So this is, which map is this? This is, okay. Oh, we've got okay, yeah, this is the Hugomon map. So let's take a look. I mean, the art, this is absolutely just really nice. We have our formal gardens up here. Really good looking maps. So that's that one. They do need to kind of be pinned down a little bit, which is fine. I'm not going to mess with that right now. And then so we have this should be, yes. So love the footprint of these. So this is the Le Haye Saint map. Let's, zoom out. So this is really cool. I love the maps here. These maps are just awesome. So that is really, really cool. I really do love these maps. Really nice on that. So these are the maps. And again, these are like cardstock, heavy cardstock maps. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so then as we continue on here, we have our player aids. So summary of key rules, which is really nice. Part 2. Then we have our musket firing, our rifle firing sheets, and then, oops, sorry. Up. And then we have our artillery sheets here. The procedure, I really like that. We have our terrain effects chart. And, yep. And close quarters, Waterloo. So these are then again single-sided. So then we have our action summary, morale outcomes, which is really cool. So combat, when the check pre-melee. That tells you when the condition, what happens, and everything along those lines. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to do that. And then we have our phase sequence of play cards as well. Okay, so those are the player aid cards. Pretty cool. So we'll move those to the side. Let's go ahead and we'll zoom this back out. Okay, so then we have now. You can tell I do love the counters, but I'll open up one of these so we can take a look here. Maybe I'll be able to pull out a couple of these, but they love to fall out. Oh my God. I literally just lifted this and they all came out. So let me just grab one unit here. Whew. They are popping out. So we have a major here. So we can see, the really awesome. So that is the horse side. So that's French, obviously. Let's take a look here. Let's pull up one. Let's pull. Yep. Okay, so we have our cav right here. Come on. Focus, focus, focus. Then the back side. It's reduced, obviously, or with that. So pretty cool. They're really nice. So as much as I want to take them out of this bag, they are going to go everywhere, and I'm not ready to deal with that yet because I barely touched them, and you can see how much they've all fallen out. So this is not going to be, but typical lock and load quality. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays. But like I said, these have all fallen out already. Whew. Okay, so then we have a nice little tray here that has the thing. So we have our 2d10, one blue, one red. We have our event cards, Napoleon on it, and more event cards. So we have 2 sets of event cards, and then we have our activation cards. Yeah, so you can see these are our activations, and then you can see I do love the artwork on this. I do. The faded kind of look to it, pretty awesome. Let's take a look at some. So mortal wounds. Play this card at the start of turn. An enemy leader receives a mortal wound. Whew. Remove from play the highest ranking French leader closest to the Anglo-Allied troops and replace it with the next lowest rank. Do not return the card to the deck. So, and so they both have like mortal wounds. So we're gonna have like, yeah. So we have Wellington and Napoleon on this. So this will be for the Anglo-Allied side, and of course this will be from the French. Pretty cool on that one. So there we have it. So we have our decks, dice. We have our counters here, which we have our multitude of player aids, which everyone. We have our 2 really nice, beautiful maps. So you even have some orchard. So formal gardens. I think I'll just get up a little bit closer this way to it instead of zooming in. And then we do have Hugomon right here, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to getting to this. And then, oh, the levels here. So we have level 1, 2, 3, maybe? We'll have to take a look at the way things are. Okay. And then, of course, we have our companion book, or which is the rules, module rules. And then we have our 9. So let's see here. I might have to flip these around here. This thing is packed full, and probably because of these are sticking up. So I'll probably just put this in here for right now. Put these to the side because that fits in there. But then maybe I can fit these in. Okay, well, I'd rather do that. Okay, so there we go. So there we go. This is the first look and the kind of the world premiere unboxing of Close Quarter Battles by Waterloo, or Waterloo, Close Quarter Battles Waterloo by Lock and Load Publishing. Again, I want to thank David Heath and all of the people at Lock and Load for sending this out to me to take a look at. With that, if you guys have any questions or anything, put them in the comments. I can always forward them. Again, there's no date for this to come out, so don't expect it too soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll talk to you later. Talk to you later. Bye.